Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm April Ann, Diamond Ambassador, and I'm so excited to be talking with y'all about social media tonight. So we're going to be doing kind of an interactive way tonight. What I want you to make sure you're doing is taking notes. And I also don't want this to feel heavy because not everyone loves social media like I do, and that's okay. What I want you to take away from tonight is there are places or spaces in your social media that you can make some tweaks and changes consistently, and it's going to help produce fruit in your business, okay? So I don't want you to feel like you have to take away everything tonight. I want you to look at your business and decide what is going to produce me fruit if I make those tweaks and changes consistently. So before we jump in, I wanted to share kind of where I came from with social media. I actually purged all of my friends, but 200 of them, right before I started Plexus. I was in the mindset of, I don't need social media anymore. I don't want people looking at my business. I rarely was on social media. I didn't have a following. I didn't have influence. So all of that to say, you can figure this marketing thing out, y'all, and you can make these changes and it can help your business. So the ultimate goal, you guys, of social media is to build a business, right? It's to create content, but here's the kicker, it needs to generate leads, okay? We're not just throwing content out there to check the box. We want to make sure that these people are joining us. So a quick self-check is, are you having current conversations? Because your marketing should allow for conversations to take place. Also, are those conversations converting, or are people just kind of, floating in midair? Like some people are in your funnel, some people are not. You want to make sure that they're ending up in your virtual office. So tonight, like I said, we're going to be making some tweaks and changes and making sure that our social media is relevant. But before we do that, you guys, I want to make sure that you choose a horse and ride it, okay? A lot of us, I'd say majority of us, we build via Facebook. Some of us spit things out to Instagram, that's totally fine, but don't try to build on both networks because it gets very messy and it can slow you down. And also, if you're the type of person who's constantly feeling like they have to do the next trend, you are going to feel like you're constantly spinning your wheels. You're, taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So what I'm going to teach you tonight works. And a lot of what I'm going to teach you tonight is from a course that several of us leaders just took. It's called Rockstar Recruiting. And it was incredible. And so I'm going to break down some of the things that we have learned and implemented. And that reminds me, when you decide to implement some of these things tonight, you need to give it time. Because what happened was a few years ago, the Brittany Howard fine-tooth combed my social media. And I was so nervous on that call because I was like, oh, like my social media is terrible. But she honed in on, okay, this is what your network really likes, or yeah, you missed the mark there. But I was willing to make some changes, but you guys, it took time. So give it time. Don't give it 40 days and then say this isn't working. You need to give it a good 90 days. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what building a team on social media used to look like, because we have some of us who are still utilizing social media that way and it's not going to be effective. So it did used to be a popularity contest. It was all about mass number of followers, quantity, tons of posts a day, superficial level, right? Picture perfect houses, families, vacations. It was just the highlights. And everyone was pushed out content. Okay, you guys, this is really important. Visibility was automatically given. It is no longer like that today. So what has changed, and I'm going to break it down, but starting at the top is the algorithm. That has changed. We're going to talk about it. The content people look at has changed. People's attention spans, you guys all know that, right? What people desire to obtain through social media has actually changed. How people want to feel when they scroll has changed, and how people choose whether or not they're going to join you and how fast they're going to do that or not. So let's talk about that algorithm. This was really interesting to me, y'all, as I was looking this up. As of 2023, the algorithm is AI, artificial intelligence driven, okay? And it is created to give each person the content that they desire, and also that they're going to be the most likely to engage in and find valuable, okay? So this is going to be important here in a minute, but that is mind-blowing to me. And do you guys ever feel like you say something to your husband or your best friend, or you're scrolling and you're not even on Facebook, and you go back and you're like, all of the ads are talking about the ER? Okay, my family was sick this weekend, and I'm telling you, I got back on Facebook and I was like, it's showing me cough drops and everything else like that we need right now with my family. So it is AI driven, and it's wanting you to utilize it. And we're going to talk about now strategies that are going to work for the AI algorithm and not against it. So obviously you need to post images and videos. Okay, it's a no-brainer, but you need to make sure it goes with your specific brand, and then make sure you're utilizing it consistently. You also want to make your content as interactive as possible. Okay, even sometimes I'm asking for input and I'm like, I've already made up my mind. Like, I'm already wearing the velvet dress to my husband's work party, but I need that input, right? I need that algorithm boost. So make it interactive, both in your wall and on your stories. Consistency is always your best friend. And you guys, this is going to help with credibility, right? But it's also actually going to help your algorithm. And then timing is crucial, because if you are posting an engagement post and you didn't get any likes or comments, that's going to tell the AI, I guess her network doesn't want to see as much of that. So for my network, I have a lot of mamas who will be up before they go to work. So they'll be on social media, and then they'll check like lunch hour, and then they're night owls. That's a lot of my network. So you have to be intentional about when you're posting and when your network wants you to post. And then Facebook groups are huge, which I did not know this, but this actually encourages your algorithm to boost your things when you are in groups and you're being present there. And basically what's happening is, when you find groups that you fit in, because not all of them are created equal, when you find those groups, you're going to have like-minded people. You're going to have topics that you feel confident talking about, right? And so you're going to be able to expand your network there, and also find a following much faster, and leads and all of the things. So let's talk about our content. Yes, you need to bring value to your social media, okay? Because value, you guys, is going to be your ticket to a following that converts to joins. So people are now looking for authenticity and not popularity. They're asking themselves, if I follow April Ann, will she have content that's relatable to me? And will I feel served? Right? It's no longer just this, oh, cool, like that's neat to see her kids. It's, I want to feel served. I want value added to me. And what's different now, you guys, is you're not the star of the show, or you're not even the hero. That's what influencers are, but that's not what we're looking to do. We are looking to be a guide, and we are just one step ahead of people that are on this journey with us, right? So we want to make sure that we keep this them focused and have a clear purpose as to why you're posting what you're posting. So your content needs to be relatable, It needs to be relatable because that's going to build relationships, right? And again, showcase the ups and downs. That's great. It's good to be vulnerable, but remember, there's a very fine line between being vulnerable and being a victim. And remember, you are not the products that you sell. And we're also not the opportunity that we share. People want to know if you're in it for them. We are in the people serving people business. So they're asking themselves, is she here to help me? Can this person guide me to where I want to go? So I want you to ask yourself or write it down, what makes you unique? And tonight we are like, this is a crash course. And so I'm going to be speeding through. So you're going to have to be making notes and like lines of where you want to go back to, and you can always watch the recording. But what makes you different from your sidelines or your uplines? What are your strengths? What's in it for the other person across the screen? That's the way you know exactly what you have to offer your network. So value, I talked about a little bit on the call that I led with Christina a couple of weeks ago, but basically it's anything people can take away when they visit your page, but it doesn't have to be tangible like a recipe. Okay, people are taking away recipes from my page, but from other people's pages, maybe they're taking away advice or something that worked well for parenting that day. For my network, and it's going to shift, you guys, as the seasons change, and make sure you go with it, because right now everyone wants to know about JoJo. What is JoJo doing? What sign language is she learning? What's her routine like? What formula is she drinking? So being okay with the season that you're in and showcasing what people are asking for more of, because value is going to be subjective. And note that you need to add value in a few areas. Notice I did not say 10 areas. And notice that I didn't tell you to niche down and only add value in one area. Because you guys, we aren't here ultimately to be influencers. We also aren't looking to be controversial, but we are looking to attract and repel and stand out. So quickly, if you want to brainstorm, ask yourself, what do people come to advice to you about? That could be value you could share on your page. Or what do you feel so passionate about? Or what do you feel like you know just a little bit better than the next person? When I first started sharing gluten-free recipes, y'all, I took people with me on the journey because I wasn't gluten-free until I think it was like 2019 or 2020. So I had to learn as I go, and I just brought them with me. So it's okay if it's a new hobby. You don't have to be that expert. Just let them know, hey, this is new. Let's do this together. All right, let's talk about our audience. It is really important that we know who we're speaking to, because we can't speak to everyone, but we can speak to someone. So do you personally have a list of dream teamers or people that you want to join your team? We do need to zero in on our desired team members. And again, ask ourselves, what problems can I solve for that person? Who do I want to work with? You guys, we get that privilege of picking who we're going to link arms with and maybe who we're not. So what qualities do they have? What qualities do they not have? Just as important. And every single time you post, you keep that ideal audience in mind. So for some of y'all tonight, it's going to be stay-at-home moms. That's who you're targeting. That's who you're talking to. Others, it's going to be homeschooling moms. For me, a lot of times it's the moms who are working full-time right now, but they desperately want options and they actually want to be at home with their kids. Maybe you're talking to the driven college student who they're looking to pay off debt ASAP. Or maybe you're talking to the retired woman who loves a good community and she is looking to grow and she wants to travel more. So again, make sure that you have zeroed in on who that desired audience is, because if you're not crystal clear, you're going to be repelling, certain people if you're just trying to talk to everyone. Okay, let's talk about a full funnel, because if our funnel is not full, we can't do our job. So you do need to expand your network. As you heard me say at the beginning, I had less than 200 friends. If you look today, I'm at about 3,300. So what the heck happened is I had to figure out, how can I expand my network beyond my little circle of friends, because the people that were left were a lot of like high school friends, which was fine. But, we have unlimited reach throughout the world. So we have to make sure that we're utilizing it. So how can you do this? Well, it's basically like building new relationships, okay? So you can do it in person, okay? You can use suggested friends. Be picky though, because if you feel like you can't genuinely strike up a conversation, it's gonna be hard to stay friends with them. Also, again, those Facebook groups are gonna be your best friend, but a little disclaimer, make sure you're not adding all of the admins, and make sure you don't go crazy adding all of the people, or you just may find yourself kicked out of that group very quickly. Ask me how I know that. You can also, sorry, I got lost in my notes, y'all. Oh, you can also, I was going to give examples of pages I've been in that I've really liked. My kids' schools, because they're in private Christian schools, so there's a lot of great high caliber mamas there. Military wives pages, you kind of have to be careful with that one. I've had to kind of weed through some of those pages. And then a local church group. My church that I go to, we have a lot of satellite campuses. And so that's been really good for some local leads. And y'all, here's the thing. If your funnel is not full, you just can't do your job. And that is to share Plexus with others. So make it part of your daily IPA. If you're finding you're constantly running out of new contacts or new people to connect with or new people to build rapport with, that's a problem. And it's going to slow you down. So make sure that you are adding that into your IPA. So take a second and ask yourself, how can you personally keep your funnel full? Is it going to be in person? Is it going to be through mutual friends or the suggested friends? Is it going to be through Facebook groups? Because that's going to be both. And if you're in that group, it's also going to help your algorithm. So what is going to work best for you when it comes to keeping your funnel full? All right, let's chat engagement. So this is interesting, but you don't want to just do random engagement to get engagement in. So you do want your focus to be on standing out. You want to be sharing solutions, getting people's input, keeping it specific to your brand though. So that's hard for me because I want to put up all these, different things, but I've been trying to hone myself in and say, okay, how can I make this like related to who April is and what April has to offer? Because if I put up something about gluten-free or asking input, they're going to answer. But if I put up something outside of my branding that I typically do, it might get crickets because they're not that interested. So you do want people who are engaging with you to fit the profile of the person you're looking to attract. So again, standing out, and then you have to go, and likewise, you have to go engage. So you can't just ask for engagement all the time and expect this massive following. You yourself need to go comment on people's posts and, ask good questions and leave really good, unique comments, not just cute shirt or looks like you had a fun time. You do want to make sure that you are engaging with others. Let me make sure I got all that. It does boost your algorithm, and it's very important when it comes to generating leads. Okay, And I think I saw that someone has a question, but I will keep going and then we'll come back for questions. All right, the next part, we're going to be talking about our profile pictures, our bio, and our cover photo. I'm going to breeze through this part and then I'm going to show you a few examples. And then if we have time, we're going to talk about posts and stories and answer questions. Okay, so your profile picture should grab the audience's attention. I think everyone knows that. It's the first person the visitor sees. Yes, I said visitor, because when someone accepts your friend request, even before that, they see it and they're going to decide if they want to accept your friend request. The crazy thing is, y'all, people will form their first impression about you in less than 6 seconds. So it's going to be majority of your profile picture and your cover photo, and then obviously your bio, your bio if they get into it. And I really hope my voice holds out, y'all. This is the best it's been since Wednesday. And this is public, so important that we have a really good profile picture. So you do not need to hire a photographer, okay? I don't want you spending money. You must show your face though, okay? This is where a lot of people go wrong. They will be standing way far back, or they'll have their entire family in their photo. And when people are getting a request from you, they're like, wait, which one is April Ann? Is that her? So you want to be the center of attention and you want it to be your face. So they can put a name with the face and they want to get a feel for who you are. So not your cat, not your friends, not your kids. They want a clean photo with good lighting. And make it represent who you are, again, with colors. Maybe the colors that you use a lot on your page. Like I'm thinking Emily, she's got lots of good, pretty pops of color, okay? When I go to her page, that's what I expect. Abby, on the other hand, hers is more neutral. And again, that's what I would expect for Abby. Also, one thing to note is if you wear makeup in public, then wear makeup. If you don't, then don't wear makeup. But be careful. Some of us go a little, what's the word? They go a little overboard with like erasing the bags under the eyes and let's get rid of a few wrinkles. And that's fine, you guys, until they see you in public. And they're like, oh my gosh, wait, is that April Ann? And they're pulling you up and they're like, she looks so different. Have you guys ever had that moment? I have. So just make sure it's you. Be genuinely you in your Facebook picture. Okay, so pull up your phone, look at your profile. This is a no-brainer. Do you need to change your profile picture? If you do, make a note. All right, our bios. So some of us have been told we need to say, I help women go from ... Well, if you're niching down, absolutely keep that there. But honestly, you guys, it's a bit salesy and it's not relatable. And it's not actually leading people and telling them who you actually are and what you're all about. And honestly, I probably wouldn't accept a friend request like that because my first thought would be, oh, she wants to sell me something. So you probably want to leave that out. But you are limited in characters, as we all know. So you have to, like, it took me a while to get my bio down because I had to mess with the formatting and the words and be choosy. So the other thing is your bio is probably going to change as your life changes. And that's okay. It's not always going to be what you currently have it. The other fun thing is, if people Google keywords, like I have gluten-free in mine, imagine that. If someone Googles that, now I am a private profile, so will not work on mine, but any of my public friends, they will pop up if you're under people and profiles and they'll be like, oh, cool, I want to add her as friend. She's gluten-free too. So make sure you spend some time here and be intentional about what you are picking. And I'm going to show some examples here really soon. Last thing in this category, cover photos. I have seen a lot of fun cover photos. I've seen some that are just like so crazy. It gives me a headache looking at it. And then I've seen some that I'm like, what is that supposed to be? So what you want it to be is simple, okay, with a clear focal point. Again, colors and images should reflect your brand. So there's that color palette again, down to the font, okay? If you're gonna have words, the font matters. And it needs to be personalized to who you are. So pair it with your profile picture if you want a really good cohesive image. It looks more professional this way and organized. And if you use words, it must be easily read both from your laptop and your phone, okay? Make sure that you are double checking that. And then this is not the place for a stock photo. This isn't a place for just grabbing something off the internet. This needs to look like you. This needs to look like April when they see it all put together. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and give y'all a few examples. Here we are. Okay, and I can't see you guys, but I really hope you can see this. Maybe someone can type in the chat for me. Can you see this?
We can see it.
Excellent. That's even better. Thanks, Britt. Okay, Emily Radke, you're on the hot seat. So I really like yours because looking at it from right here, I can see what you're passionate about, but I also can see, wow, I can really relate with her. She's a wife, she's a mom, she's into wellness, she loves Jesus, and she has a family. So that to me would be someone where I'm like, I need to be her friend. And also it keeps me a little bit curious knowing that she is into wellness. So I'm like, well, what about wellness, right? But she didn't say anything about, I'm into the pink drink or anything like that. I'll serve you, I'll help you, I'll lead you. Lead, although isn't too bad. So I think I have an example of that one here. Mine is here. Like I said, it's taken me a while to decide what I was gonna say. One thing to make note of, so this is like my rainbow baby journey. Obviously, I'm not going to put miscarriages or anything like that because that can, leave a negative tone on my page, but it's going to create some curiosity. They're going to say, wait, what does she know we're coming from? And also I think gluten-free by choice. I get a lot of people asking, well, why by choice? And then Mill Spouse is Mill Spouse because I ran out of characters. So would have loved it to say military spouse, but it's Mill Spouse for the time being. Haley Arnold, I loved your layout because it's just like so pleasing to the eye, and it makes sense because social media is definitely your jam. But I loved it. She says, I'm wife to my forever best friend. Are y'all high school sweethearts? I probably should know this. That's what I would assume by looking at it. She was a teacher, but wait, she stays at home now? Like, again, getting my wheels turning, and she's inspiring stories of hope. Love all of that. So what's going to be important, y'all, when you're creating your bio or editing or tweaking it, make it your own. Don't use these bios. All right, Abby Taylor, here's the leader one. Again, really like it because it tells me about you, a snapshot. You are homeschooling, you're a leader, and you're breaking perfectionist chains and walking into freedom with my Jesus. I mean, that's just a mic drop. I don't need to say anything more about that last line. All right. Going to profile pictures. I feel like I can make this bigger for y'all. Here's mine. I mean, it's nothing special, y'all, but the lighting is good. And I'm in a place where I take a lot of photos. So people know that it's my front porch. Good lighting, and it looks like me. My sisters, I would expect this to be her profile, and these are older ones because I've been writing this call for a while. So they're not going to look like, I think Abby's changed, but anyways, those are the colors that she typically uses when she is marketing. And so I think it's brilliant that that's what she is wearing in her photo. Also, I don't think it's too far back. You can still see Abby's face and you can definitely tell it's her. Shannon, another one, like it's a fun photo. I would maybe zoom in just a little bit, but you can tell it's Shannon, and you can tell she has on this fun outfit and the lighting is great. And then of course, Emily had to bring her up, but that just like says fun. Her photo, her background, her cute dress, her bracelets. So it goes really well with her current marketing. And the cover photos. So I love how Caitlin did this all together. It just flows so beautifully. The profile picture maybe should be closer, should be just her, but I really love how these two go together. Christina's, again, this was an older one, but I like this because it's bold like Christina. I wouldn't expect anything different. And you can actually read what is being said. I can't tell you how many times I'm looking and I'm like, what was that word supposed to be? So again, if you're going to use words, make sure you can read on both laptop and your phone. Okay, and here's mine currently, but I am all about my family. Anyone knows that. And so I had to figure out how to get my family in there. So they are my beautiful cover photo, and I feel like it just flows nicely. I think I have two more. Rachel Pisani. I love this because first of all, you do have your pink drink in there, but it's not like the main focal point. And also it doesn't feel salesy at all to me. It makes me curious. Also, your skin is glowing, so it would make me wonder, like, what is she up to? And also having Isla there is the perfect focal point. I love her soft pink hat, and it goes really well with the colors that I would expect to see on your page. And last, Emily Radke. Again, I just really love, because in your bio you talk about your family, and so there's your beautiful family, there's your hubby. I think that's totally fine. I would maybe even zoom in a little bit so we can see you guys better. But again, great colors, and I feel like it definitely goes with your personality. So let me stop the share and find my notes again. Maybe, maybe not. I'm glad it's helpful, Michelle. I just saw your comment. I'm glad my voice is holding out. I was very nervous. Okay, I found them. I just need to tile it to the right side. Okay, what time are we at? Because I have more left, but I also want to give time for questions. So we are going to do stories, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, so stories. What's really important, y'all, is that you have around 7 to 10 and that you're being very consistent with the stories. And here's the other thing. Yes, the timer, Jessa, you're so sweet. The timer says 60 seconds, okay? It says you can have that long, but I find, and I've gotten really bad with this lately, but if you keep it at about 25 to 30 seconds for every story, people are going to get through them. If you don't, a lot of times they're clicking through, or they make it 20 seconds in, they're like, oh gosh, I can't do another 40 seconds. So try to keep it at 30 seconds if you can. Practice ahead of time, you guys. There's so many stories I've deleted and got rid of and changed, and it takes me a while to get stories up, but I'm okay with that. And then also know the why behind your story. Is it entertainment purposes? Is it problem solving? Is it educational? Is it relational? Why are you in your stories in the first place? And here's something that's really interesting is back in the day, we just logged our day. right? We just showed up and we talked about the things we're doing. And I love to do this. So I have to really pull back and tell myself no. But people don't want to see that anymore. They don't have time for that. So you have to serve and you have to provide value in your stories. Again, quality over quantity, and even use those captions, right? A lot of people are watching stories, which is crazy, without even sound on. Make it relatable, drive engagement there in your stories. If you can, use the question boxes, the little swipe thing, and don't, like I shared on the last call, but don't, if you're using Instagram as your stories originality, don't push out the engagement ones, recreate those in Facebook so that they can actually engage. And then make sure you're sandwiching in Plexus, because we don't want just all value. We don't want just all Plexus. We want both and, so that they are exposed indirectly. And then if you are not tracking your stories, you are doing yourself a disfavor, because what's happening is those people are warm. I don't care if they're not commenting or they're not liking, they're warm. They like you. If they're constantly watching your stories, and they probably have some sort of pain point that you are fixing for them and you don't even know. So what I like to say to people like this is, hi, Jenny, how is your Wednesday going? And you can connect more if you want to in this message. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my stories or loving my stories, whatever it is she's doing. It means the world, and it encourages me to keep putting content up. I'm curious though, have you ever thought about giving Plexus a try? So here you're not talking business, you're not talking products, you're just asking, have you ever thought of giving Plexus a try? Or I'm curious, have you ever taken a closer look at Plexus? I'd love to share more with you if you're open to it. Same thing goes for your posts. If they're liking them, they're commenting, they are getting a message from me, because you guys, they're warm and they are ready to have a conversation with you. All right, it's 9:39. Should I do the post stuff or should I answer questions? Brittany Howard, I'm looking at you.
What post stuff are you talking about?
I was gonna give 5 tips for posting.
I think you should give the post stuff.
Okay. All right.
Somebody's saying she missed the last sentence.
Missed the last sentence. The problem is I sometimes don't know what I said, because I just deviate from my notes. So I guess ask someone who took notes. All right, going back up to posts. Obviously, I already said this, y'all, but consistency is key. If you can get in 2 posts a day, that's a really good number. But again, quality over quantity. And if you want to follow the flow, this has been a game changer for a lot of us who have done the course, the Rockstar Recruiting course. But do a Plexus post, and then your next post, you can do value. And then your next post, you can drive engagement, and then repeat and continue to do that flow. The other thing that some of the leaders have been doing is they've been splitting the month in half. So the first half of the month, they're doing business, you know, when they're posting about Plexus. The second half, they're doing products, or vice versa. I have not done that yet, but there are several leaders who are doing that, and they're seeing good fruit. And what they're saying is it gives them clarity when they sit down to work. They're like, okay, these 2 weeks, I'm honing in on all things business in, you know, their posts that they're putting up. Attention span, as we talked about, has decreased a ton, y'all. It's currently 8.25 seconds, which is so short. So you do want to keep your posts short and sweet. But remember that storytelling sells. So it is important that you're keeping it concise and them focused. So 5 things to remember when you're posting. 1 is a good hook. That first sentence, y'all, is make it or break it. I'm not kidding. If there's not a good intro or a good sentence, I'm scrolling on by. So if you're not sure how to create a good hook, Google it. There's so many good examples. And a lot of times that's the very last thing I write. So I write the post and then I go back up and I'm like, what would just like make this post the best post ever? Number 2 is connect to feelings. Yes, even for my type 3 friends like me. Say that fast 10 times. Stories are going to sell. Y'all, we're humans. We connect to emotions. And so we're looking for that when it comes to social media. So ask yourself when you're writing and sitting down, and you guys, it takes time to craft a good post. Don't rush it. But how are you feeling during that time? How do you want the person to feel as they're reading your post? If it's a positive feeling, why did you feel that way? If it's a negative feeling, well, why? And how can you show that you're overcoming this, right? You're in the process of overcoming it. Okay, number 3, share a personal story. So we're adding on to the story aspect, but be relatable and be vulnerable. Okay, it's not enough just to story tell. And you don't have to spill all of your secrets. You can share the story and share what you've learned or how you overcame a difficult situation, or share advice, or share something hard that's happening right now with your kids or parenting. But what are you doing that has been helping that might help your network? Number 4 is call to action, or a call to think, or a call to engagement, or a call to ask for advice. So it's one of those. It's not all of them, and not every single post has a call to action. So you're going to have to vary it depending on what you're posting about. But basically, you're asking yourself, what do you want them to go and do or think as a result of your post? And the last one, I bet y'all can guess what it is, but it goes right with that hook line. There better be a good picture. It better be a clear, eye-catching, beautiful picture that's going to stop the scroll. And y'all, less is more. Less is more. If you can get just one picture up, that is really good. I see people putting up 7 to 10 pictures. I've stopped scrolling by picture 2 or 3. I've even seen people put up 60 to 70. I've stopped scrolling at picture 2 or 3. So, less is more when it comes to posting. Okay, that is what I have. Thank you guys for staying on longer with me tonight. I knew it was going to be a ton. But what I want to encourage you guys to do, because I know some of you are probably overwhelmed or overloaded and like, oh my gosh, where do I start? I'm just going to wipe my social media out and just start over fresh. Don't do it. But what I want you to do is think about what are the top 2 or 3 things you can consistently, that's important, implement over and over and over for the next 90 days. And then after you do that, you're going to take some time to look at it, analyze it, tweak it again, and then repeat, implement new things. So it's not going to be this quick fix, just like we promise everyone with their products. It's going to take time to master it. But once you master it, you're going to notice a huge difference in your people converting to joins and joining your team. So that's all I have. And I'm going to stop the recording. Maybe. Where's the recording button? There it is.